Good evening, everyone. Are you ready?
Oh, she's not on?
Are we good? Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Mount Vernon City School District Board of Education work session. Today is Tuesday, July 14th. Let's please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Thank you. I would like to acknowledge that Trustee White is supposed to, we're having some technical difficulties to get her on Zoom, but she's scheduled to join us via Zoom tonight. Trustee Middleton is traveling today, so she's excused. Okay, all right. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee White, Trustee Vasquez, Trustee Peterson. Here. Trustee Evans. Trustee McDonough. Trustee Middleton. Trustee Brown. VP Scott. And President Maribel.
Present.
Do we have a quorum?
Yes. We have a quorum present. Thank you. At this time, we'd like to hear a presentation from our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Doggett, on iReady data.
Good evening, Board President, Vice President, trustees, superintendent, cabinet members, and members of the community. I'm here today to present the end-of-year iReady data review. This will conclude the iReady presentation that I started back in October when I brought forward to you the beginning of the year data of where we were in September of 2005. So this review will include a beginning of the year versus end of year comparison for the 25-26 school year by itself, an end of year 2-year comparison from the 24-25 school year and the 25-26 school year, and a 4-year trend from 2022 to 2026 to see the longitude. And finally, the predictive alignment or correlation of iReady has to the New York State grades 3 to 8 math assessments. Next slide. So what is an adaptive diagnostic? Well, iReady is the assessment that pinpoints exactly where students are academically and what needs to be done and to get them to grade level. iReady is our adaptive diagnostic that automatically adjusts the difficulty to the questions according to students' ability. Now, this universal screener is done 3 times a year. It's done in the beginning of the year, September, early October, late January, early February, and late May, June. So next slide. The test is adaptive. After students takes the test, it breaks the students up into tiered levels, which academic support is provided for each student on tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I know we have new board members. Tier 1 is the core instruction, grade level instruction. Tier 2 is targeted support, and tier 3 is intensive support. Next slide. So this is pretty much what iReady does. The beginning of the year is just to inform. No evaluation. Students take the test to see where they are, and then the teachers plan accordingly and progress monitor to the middle of the year, where they also are informed of the results and they evaluate their academic growth at that point and make any adjustments that needed. Third window, end of year, is to evaluate how we've done throughout the year and to inform instruction moving into the new year and to inform the curriculum instruction team of what worked, what didn't, what needs to be changed. And additionally, iReady is just one of 3 data points to be utilized to make instructional decisions. The second one is the New York State data and also local based measures. Next slide. Now we will get into the performance review for mathematics. Next slide. So if you look at this slide, it is taken directly from the iReady screen. This is the math beginning of the year to end of year comparison. And these are all the students who have taken the beginning of the year and end of year assessment. If a student missed one of the assessments, they're not included in this data point. So as you can see, there's 5 different levels. We have in the red, students that are 3 or more grade levels below. These are the indicators. We also have students that are 2 grade levels below. That's in the solid red. Yellow are students that are 1 grade level below or approaching grade level. The green is students that are on grade level, and the green stripe that are on mid or above grade level. So at the end of the day, you want to see more greens than reds, and you want yellows to turn to greens. So when I presented this information to you back in October, our students in math, grades K through 8, were at 13%. After a full years of instruction and progress monitoring at the beginning of the year, middle of the year assessment, and end of year, our students are falling at 51% on or above grade level. And as you can see, the reduction of students in the reds from a total of 43% to 20% over time. Next slide. This slide basically explains the relative placements change from spring to spring. So end of year to end of year. And you want to look at the end of year because those are the students that are leaving that grade on grade level. So as you can see, the 5 categories, this is just overall from last year when I did the presentation, where we were to we are this year. So I'm going to have you look at that for just a quick second. As you can see, we have more students in the green. This is overall grades K through 8. And one of the recommendations for the presentation when I presented in October was to break it down by grade level. So I did on the next 2 slides. If you go through them, you can actually see the variation of grade levels, the growth. And I also would like to tell you, for this year, we did decide to test some unique learners to see if we had to change the curriculum for them. So that may have impacted the data, but overall we made growth. So if you look at the various grade levels, this one is grades K through 5. As you can see, the overall growth in areas of need. Next slide. Math, grades 6, 7, and 8. Let's take a minute to look at that. This also lets us know if there's any specific grade levels that need to be targeted. Is it instruction? Is it a curriculum gap? Is it a curriculum implementation? That's what the C&I team breaks down over the summer, as well as building principles. Next slide, please. So this is the slide I presented in last year's presentation exactly 1 year ago today. And I like this slide because it shows the growth over time that the district has made. Last year, I had 3 years. This year now is 4 years. So if you look at it overall, we have more students approaching grade level, more students at grade level or above, and less students below grade level. In 2022, we were at 32%. 4 years later, we're at 49%. So you can see the longitudinal growth that we've been making over time, steady incremental growth each year. And I would like to say, as a former building principal, as you move up in scores, it gets harder and harder to move students forward. So you won't see a lot of gaps, 10% this year. You start seeing 3%, 5%, 2%. We want 5%. But again, as you move up, it gets harder to move. Now we're going to move into ELA reading. Next slide. Same exact structure. ELA beginning of the year to end of year overall. These are all students who have taken the beginning of the year and end of year iReady assessment. Any student with 1 data point, whether they took the beginning of the year or only end of year, are not included in this data point. However, they are included in the end of year data point. So as you can see, in the fall and October, when I presented this presentation, students were at 26% on grade level. We are currently at 57% proficiency in grades K through 8 overall for this school year only. Next slide. I'm also going to do the 2-year comparison from the end of year last year, and this slide is all students who have taken the end of year. So this is not a 1-year comparison where you needed 2 data points. These are all students who've taken the end of the year. So if a student started June 1st, June 2nd, they've taken the end of year, they're included in this total. Overall, you can see the growth from 1 year to the next. Next slide. Now we're going to go through the grade levels. And if you look at grade 1, it's not written there, but that is in the red, that is 3%. So as we look at this, we can start to see trends of if there's a grade level issue, is it a student cohort issue? We then break that down to school base. What does this look like by school? What does it look like by school per grade level? And then what does it look like per teacher? That's a further drill down analysis. Next slide for grades 6, 7, and 8. As you can see in our upper grades, that our academics is also improvement. And if you look at the graph, the pink area in grade 8, the first bar is 5%, the second bar is 4%. Next slide. Again, same slide from last year, showing this is the 4-year trend. I added another year. As you can see, in 2022, we started at 37, we ended at 37% students leaving the grade on grade level. 2023, 2024, 47% leaving at grade level. Last school, 24, 25, 52%, and 25, 26, 56% students leaving at grade level, and less students far below grade level, which is the overall goal. Next slide. So this is new. We look at iReady to make decisions. We look at iReady to inform instruction. Teachers use it for planning to get students on grade level. So how well does iReady predict or correlate proficiency levels, which means students performing at level 3 or better, which is the greens, on New York State's assessments? So what we did is we took the iReady scores from last school year, because the scores from 24-25 school year, and we did a comparison by grade level to see the correlation. Now, anything plus or minus 5 is good. The reason we're not using 25, 26, because that data is not out yet, and we cannot do a correlation. So I'm looking forward to seeing that correlation, and most likely I'll be back before you in the fall to do that presentation as well. So overall, you can see the variations between the grade levels, but if you look at the last column to the far right, that is district. For math, the end of year 24-25, students were at 46% in grades 3 through 8. On a New York State assessment, we performed at 42%. Next slide. For ELA, again, you can look across the grade levels. Look at the far right. You will see iReady for 24-25 school year. End of year was 48%. How did we do on the New York State ELA assessment? We scored at 45%. Next slide. So key takeaways. Sustained growth. Our 4-year iReady trend demonstrates that continued growth is happening in both ELA and mathematics, reflecting the district's commitment to strengthening Tier 1 instruction and improving student outcomes overall. The predictive validity is that iReady results are closely aligned to New York State assessment proficiency rates, confirming that iReady is a reliable predictor of student performance. And you want to give yourself a little plus or minus 5. The reason I want to say that because iReady also does not assess writing, and writing is a crucial piece of the New York State assessment as well. Data-driven decision-making. The district assessment systems provides educators with timely, actionable data to progress monitor. That includes our MTSS, identify learning needs and make informed instructional decisions, and our commitment to a continuous improvement over time, the consistent implementation and revisions of high quality curriculum, targeted interventions, and ongoing progress monitoring, again, which is our MTSS. So our next steps, we want to continue using the iReady diagnostic data to inform instructional planning and intervention, which our team is currently working on this summer. We want to strengthen our Tier 1 instruction, which is a priority of Dr. Strickland, through ongoing professional learning and instructional coaching. We're going to continue to monitor student growth, expand opportunities for targeted interventions, this is Tier 2 and Tier 3, and also provide enrichment for our students who are performing on grade level, and maintain a strong focus on continuous improvement by aligning our assessment data, instructional practices, and student support systems. Any
Thank you, Dr. Doggett. Do we have any questions from our trustees?
Yes, I have.
Hold on, okay. Trustee Evans.
For the students who did not take the assessment, and I understand you said not everyone is included, because if you miss one assessment, you may not be included in, that's my understanding, right? That's
and
correct?
the year
The year.
year-to-year comparison,
Right.
yes.
For the population of student who did not take the assessment, who missed the test, or whether it's one or both, did you do a drill down to understand why they did not take the test, besides being absent? What other factors could have contributed to them not taking the test? And who are those students? Meaning, are they the low performers? Do they have test anxiety? What's the reason for them not doing the test?
I can tell you that. We may have a very few that are absent, but we have a lot of students who are nonverbal. And that population is the population that is not testing. They are geared towards the alternate assessment, so they do not take the iReady assessment, and there's a lot of those students. So they're excluded in the total, because when you see the total, you saw maybe 3,900 versus 35 that tested. Our student information system reads students as grade levels, so it's always going to be a void of a few hundred. We know internally who those students are that's intentionally not included in this testing.
So they have had the alternate test.
Yes, they have other measures. Yes, that's not this.
Okay. And how do they compare? How do they fare, I should say?
I don't have that information for this
Okay.
presentation.
Okay. And I have.
When the alternate assessment results come back in, I'll be able to share that with you.
Okay, and you also mentioned that the iReady is a can be used to predict our scores, right? And so what I wanted to do, you compare New York State with the iReady outcomes. How do we compare to the actual New York State assessments when you compare them?
So when I do the presentation, you mean iReady?
So
Our iReady is our local measure that we use. So we don't compare our local to New York State. We compare it to our New York State assessments. What we do is we compare the NYSET grades 3 to 8 assessments compared to how New York State's done. That's a separate presentation, and I'll bring that to you in October. That's
Okay.
a state assessment presentation.
So that's what I was
Yes.
looking at to see, really, is the iReady predictive of the final outcomes, which is what we're aiming for, state outcomes.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
So in October, we'll get that.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
But it's predictive towards our outcomes, not the states. I want to be clear. It's predicted towards our outcomes. So what you saw was our outcomes.
I
It won't
understand
be
that.
predictive towards the New York State.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Trustee McDonough?
Thanks for this. And I might have missed it because I was a little late. Sorry about that. In 2023, the spring of 2023, New York State phased in for ELA and math, the next gen standards. That rebasing changed the cut scores, and statewide, there was an increase statewide as just a result of the change, having nothing to do with change in instruction, just the change of the way they were measuring it. If you factor that in, what do the scores look like for the school district?
I would have to look at that and see.
Okay. And the other thing is the last.
And
Go ahead.
also students were back in school for 2 years from the pandemic.
Yeah. So historically, and not just New York State, although New York State is notorious for this, every few years they change things, they change it up. And there's a bump. It's rare that you have a change in measurement and students do worse, right? Sort of like grade inflation, right? Where everyone's familiar with that and how it sort of actually devalues education when you inflate grades. If everybody wins, nobody wins, that idea. So that's the concern. I want to make sure that we account for the elevation just as a result of changing the cut scores
Correct.
and making sure with that factored in, we're still getting true growth.
Yes.
I think we probably are, but I think it's important to just keep that in mind. Just tuck that away. The other thing is the survey last fall about EL. So New York City has been phasing in the science of reading.
Mhm.
I think it was last fall they surveyed all the school districts about that. How close are we now to aligning with the state expectations across the 6 ELA standards that they look at?
We're very close. We're actually moving. We're pretty much right there. We're finalizing some things in ELA over the summer. We have some new pilots that we're bringing forward. We also, and all of them are embedded in all the pillars of science of reading. So we're looking to basically finalize that. There are some areas that we're working on in grades K through 3. We have some gaps, and we're looking to close that over the summer.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Doggett.
Welcome.
We're going to move on to Section 3, Human Resources. I'd like to draw your attention to Resolutions 3.1 through 3.5. Are there any questions, comments? I'll give you a few moments to review them to ensure that all of your questions have been considered and resolved. Hearing nothing, we will move on to Section 4, Curriculum and Instruction, 4.1 through 4.2. Are there any questions?
Yes. Yes. For,
Trustee Evans?
yes, I'm sorry. How many students do we expect to be served by the Smart Scholars program for both programs?
Dr. Strickland, would you like to respond, or?
We've just actually been talking with our school leaders that are running the program. Dr. Doggett, did you want to provide a number? 20.
Oh, per grade level. Okay.
And there is going to be a complete revamp of the program. Prior to coming, we've noticed that we have not hit the benchmarks. As we've been getting things from New York State that have decreased funding, I've called for changes in the program, and Dr. Doggett and Ms. McCoy have been working tirelessly to make sure we get in compliance with the rules of Smart Scholars.
Okay, so that would include all the outcomes for the program itself,
Yeah,
so that we can demonstrate a return on the investments that we as a school district is making into this program.
of course, but I mean, this is funding from New York State to the district, and it's actually being scaled back as a result of us not meeting the metrics of the program. For instance, students are supposed to be on a college campus, receiving instruction from professors. That part has not happened with fidelity across the district. Year 1 is done for me, but now we're implementing all the changes that I've seen that are not in compliance and that are hurting the district, and making changes accordingly with the team.
Okay. And also, I'm sorry, I have.
Hold on.
I have one
Hold
more
on,
question.
hold on one second.
Okay.
Anyone else have a question? Trustee Evans?
Yes. So for, I think there's a Regents program that you have, there's a vacancy, a position, a math position at Mount Vernon High. Do you know, or how, can you speak to when do you anticipate that we are gonna, we'll be able to fill that position?
So it's to be determined because there's probably no individuals from the district have currently applied for the program. However, that doesn't mean that we don't keep canvassing employees. In addition, some of the administrators have different connections with some of the employees and they encourage them to get here. We put TBD there so that you know that the funding is already encumbered so that when we get that individual, we are able to continue to still pay them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. We will move on to 5.1, approval of student personnel services. Any questions? If none, we'll go on to 6 grants, 6.1 and 6.2. One is the authorization to accept the Teacher Center of Central Westchester's New York State Education Grant for 2025, 2026. Is that 2026, 2027? Okay, that should be 2026, 2027. Okay. That will be edited in real time. Okay, 6.2, authorization to disperse stipends for providing program services to the operation of the Purchase College Great Potential Program at Denzel Washington, STEAM, and Lincoln, and Mount Vernon High School. Any questions? Hearing none, let's move to the business office. 7.1 through 7.8. I'd just like to take some time. Number 1, 7.1, certification of uncollected taxes for 2025, 2026 tax roll. Are there any questions on that? Okay, Trustee McDonough and then Trustee Evans.
Just, was the attachment, the list of taxes, was that missing some pages? That's the one is that what we're talking about? The property tax listing? Was missing.
Except the certification?
Yeah, the,
Are we missing taxes?
No,
Dr.
no.
Strickland?
that,
I mean,
you know, that property tax
pages.
listing, yeah. Oh, is it, it's, okay,
It's, I
thank
was
you.
gonna say it's
Thanks.
flipped.
Yeah, got it, thanks.
Any questions on that? We're just gonna spend a little time on, on this particular, section. 7.2, approval of food service management contract for Sodexo for next year, for 2026, 2027. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, Trustee Evans, you had a question on 7.1, correct?
7.1 and
Let's
also
go back to 7.1. Was your question
7.4.
answered?
I don't know if I missed it, but I was looking to see or try to get a better understanding of the dollar amount for that uncollected taxes.
Okay.
I didn't see that.
If you look into
I have to
the executive,
refresh?
yes,
Okay,
it'll be in the executive
Got it.
content.
got it. I was looking for it. I couldn't find it.
It's okay.
Thank you. And then as I was reading it, and it just felt like the resolution was a little duplicative for me. Is that the first half sounds like the second half. Is that intentional? Or is there like an error? I read it and it sounded all the same. And I'm not here to debate the legal part of it. I'm just asking for my clarity.
Can, Dr. Strickland, can we ask,
I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea, but I will say that in the past, we have not brought this to board like we should have. The actual certification of the taxes. So what I can do is work with my team to determine if it's duplicative or not. But I'm just already grateful that we are finally following a process that actually certifies taxes and make sure that we can hold the city of Mount Vernon accountable to what it is that they must collect on our behalf. But so I can't answer the first part, but I will talk with the team on the
No,
second
that's
part.
good.
It
Thank you.
does, just from looking at it, it may sound like it's duplicative because there are several people that are involved and the same language has to be repeated for those individuals, but it's not duplicated in the sense of the duplication of the effort,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. 7.2, trustee Evans, you had a question on 7.2 as well?
I think this is all about my education,
And it's
you
fine.
know?
No, this is what this is for.
So, as I looked at it, I was wondering, do we do, like a contract evaluation at the end of the year to figure out, to determine, in this case, Sodexo, do they, how did they earn the extension? Why should we continue? Did they meet, certain KPI, certain metrics with it, or is it written in their contracts for them to meet those, and did they meet those? Hence, we are saying, you performed well, and so we want to continue with you in the next school year.
Yes,
Dr. Strickland?
yep, good question. So I will tell you that we don't have a formal program evaluation system as of right now. There's some things that I'm working to put in place. For instance, where you could actually see what the deliverables are from different organizations to, actually evaluate whether or not they earned the chance to come back. Believe it or not, there are provisions within the contract that they have to meet, in which they then determine if they are going to be renewed, or we determine if we're going to be renewed. I know myself and in-house counsel and our food service manager, Donna Jackson, sat with the organization and talked about any changes that possibly needed to be made. So we are monitoring those, and I just would say that as we continue to move forward, we will develop those processes so that, it shows that we're getting a return on our investment. I will say next month, we are going to have a food service presentation from Ms. Jackson to you all at the August work session, and she can sort of talk a little bit more about where we ended up. But ultimately, if we are in the positives with our revenues, unlike last year, when we was about $1 million short, that's what I came into. That will then, that will be the ultimate indicator, as well as surveying the children to find out what they ultimately think about the food. But, like I said, next month you will get more information on that.
Thank you.
And I also like to say this is an ongoing situation with food service contracts with all districts because they're very similar. We've had Almac, we've had Sodexo, and they kind of go back and forth. And so we just really try to make sure that they meet the needs of the district and make sure that our cafeteria fund stays flush. And our food service manager, she's responsible for ensuring that they meet those standards. Any other questions? 7.3, authorization for summer field trips, an emergency contract. I know there was a question regarding field trips overall. Dr. Strickland, did you want to address that now or?
Yes, so field trips are actually included in this year's budget. It's in a lot of different areas, unfortunately, in our financial management system. But I will say that, there's no specific allocation per classroom, per grade level. It's basically, the schools have a pot of money to be able to fund field trips. So we're not heavily relying on our PTAs and, thinking that we just have to raise money. Like, these are things that should be a part of the general education curriculum for our students, and they should be allowed to go to different places because the world is like a learning canvas. So I would say this is no different. We have, I think, a few pre-kindergarten field trips this summer. And that's why we had to put an emergency contract forward so that we could take our students on those trips.
So there's no, any other questions before we move on? So there's no specific allocation per school, except for, it's on first come, first served basis and how it draws down from the budget?
So we gave principals their budgets where they actually decided how much they were going to allocate to specific items within the budget. I have to check with, we're uploading those items into the business financial system. There's no real mechanism, if you will, like if you have this amount of students, you get this amount. What we did is said, you have this bucket of money. How much are you allocating towards field trips? How
Per
much are you
school?
allocating? Yes, per school. And you know, that's how, so they sort of decided what it is that they were going to do.
And then you pooled all of that together and placed that cumulative number into the budget? Is that
Into the
how?
budget book. That's why we have the number, because we can actually identify what is in each of those field trip lines. And we're still working with our chart of accounts to make sure that it's orderly, it's by school, by department, so you can clearly delineate where funds are in the budget.
I hope that addresses the questions that we received through it being email regarding field trips. Okay, Vice President Scott?
So if the PTA wants to do a field trip, they then should go to the principal of the school to organize that? Is that what we're saying?
No, I was just saying, generally, schools go to the PTA organization or the PTOs to help finance a field trip. And what I'm saying is we shouldn't necessarily rely on the PTAs, PTOs all the time to do things that a school district does, which is send children on field trips. Not saying that they can't. We love their support and they provide a lot of it. They help up with the field days and things like that. But it's also a gray area. It starts bleeding into the food services area because people want to sell cupcakes and, you know, we're a nut-free district. We can't sell those things during the day. We can't sell little Huggies and juices and things like that. So, you know, it helps alleviate a lot of the issues that we have. I don't want it to be a barrier for why a teacher cannot take children on trips. I want to make it as easy as possible.
And Trustee McDonough?
I just wanted to add on to that the importance of enrichment in the city school district. A lot of our students are isolated. They don't have resources to go out and do things. That is incredibly important to your overall education, being exposed, going into other cultural environments. So I know we're financially in difficult times right now, but long-term, that ought to be a goal of us. Right, thanks.
Okay, Dr. Strickland?
And I also, why that became a priority of mine, I've been showing up in a lot of spaces in Westchester and I've consistently heard that Mount Vernon is not there. And a lot of it is because we don't have transportation. And that's something that I'm not gonna stand for, because when our kids go to these events, they are showing up and like showing out in positive ways, like literally getting recognition from Commissioner Rosa, from Chancellor Young. I mean, you saw our young ladies that presented their projects, like we had to find ways to get them there. That should not be. They were going to do a service and we had to find ways to get them there. And they did a remarkable job. And I'm sorry, I kind of want to show our students off because they can compete with these other districts in this community. So,
Absolutely. Any other questions? The 7.4, approval for boys varsity basketball team to travel to Orlando to compete in the KSA Orlando tournament. Any questions? Seven point five, authorization to award Delta Electric bid 2024-25-05 for the 2026-2027 school year. authorization to award bid 2024-2402 to Waste Management Services Suburban Carting for the 2026-2027 school year.
Question.
Okay, Trustee Brown.
For 7.5, the award, Delta Electric, there was nothing attached. Is that intentional? And
So no, it should be, there's information in the executive content, but you're correct. So what I'll do is ensure that it's in place of some sort, even if it's the RFP process or whatever's been used, so that you can, it's transparent to
Thank
you
you.
all. Of course.
Trustee Evans?
I just wanted to ask for this waste management contract. Is it just for what's called solid waste, or what type of waste streams are involved in this? Do you know?
Part of the,
No, I don't. I will find
So
out.
can I
I'm
just-
just, they pick up the trash and hopefully cart it away. I think they, these are for our big dumpsters. The city gets our regular everyday compost, and these individuals take away the larger loads from our schools. But I still will get that answer.
Yeah, I'm just
It's
curious
never-
because there are different streams, and I just wanted to make sure that we are appropriately disposing, so to speak. I just want to take a look at it and see what are those streams and are they going to the appropriate places? And if there's a need for us to do an additional review based on the type of waste that we are offering for transportation and disposal, that we make sure that the school district is not at risk or exposed in any way.
I will say that these individual waste management companies, they know what they can dispose of and what they can't. And I do know that if there's inappropriate items that are in the actual bins or garbage, I don't even know what they're called, receptacles,
Dumpsters.
yeah. They won't take it
I'm just,
until we rectify it. But I still
yeah,
I mean,
let me take a look at it. I'm just concerned about like the labs and, anything coming out of those, like chemistry lab or biology, those areas,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
And from facilities, okay?
okay.
You talking about hazardous waste? Okay. Trustee Brown?
Um, in regards to the waste, I'm HAZWOPER certified, and the companies that receive these waste that you're asking about, the streams, the companies that are delivering to them, they have to identify what's in it. So part of the contract for the company is they're already going to know what's in those retainers, receptacles when you're carting it away, and they have to go to a specific facility
I
that will
understand.
accept it. So for our district, we don't really have those hazardous wastes that are coming out. This is just regular everyday use, regular
Okay.
garbage. hmm Yes, it does. No. Mm-mm. So,
Questions? Any other questions, comments? Okay, we're at 7.7, I believe, of the contract for Valencia, which is also not attached. Okay. Any questions on Valencia Work Group for 2027 Landscaping Services? 2026, 2027, any questions? Trustee Brown?
so while it's not attached, I would love to see exactly all of what Valencia is going to do in their contract. If it's just landscaping, if it's snow removal, like what is the totality of the contract? Please.
Mhm. So we're going to, do we, don't want to pull this until we see the contract? Is that what you would like to do? Okay, all right, we're gonna pull 7.7. That's Trustee Brown?
For any of the ones that are missing the actual contract, can I request that those be all pulled, just for consistency's sake? Because the next one too.
So we're looking at, okay.
Sorry about that.
So we're pulling 7.5, 7.7. We're at 7.8, approval of extension of uniform bid. You'd like to pull that one as well. Is that the request of the board? Okay, 7.8. Okay. 7.5. Okay. So any other questions? Okay, so we're going to, just to reiterate, we're going to pull 7.5, which is the contract, the award for Delta Electric. 7.7, which is the landscaping services for Valencia. 7.8, which is the extension of uniform bid. So with that, I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize to send items 3.1 through 7.8 with the exclusion of 7.5, 7.7, and 7.8 to consent agenda. May I have a motion? Okay, I have a first and a second. Is there any discussion? Further discussion? We'll call for the vote.
All in favor? Sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained?
Acknowledgement of trustee White. Trustee White, we see you there, remotely. In favor, is that yes? And just to acknowledge. Thank you. And just to acknowledge that we also have trustee McDonough just for roll call, just to make sure we have those two trustees listed.
Yeah,
Okay,
motion carries.
okay, thank you. At this point, I'd like to call for comments from the board. Do we have comments from our board members tonight? I know trustee Brown, you have a comment? Okay, but while you're looking for that, do we have comments from other trustees? Okay, trustee Vasquez?
My only comment was we received it a little late. Just I would have liked more time to review them all. So is it normal that we receive it like the day before, or?
No, we get it a week before. You, we will, yep, so.
I tried to check for the draft. I didn't see it. Okay. Okay.
Anyone else? All right, trustee Brown?
I would like to share with the community that one of our very own scholars, who attends STEAM, her name is Kylie. Let me make sure I say it correctly because everyone likes to mess up my name, so I don't want to do the same to her. Kylie Jules Robinson. She's 15 and she has earned a scholarship to the inaugural Mayo Clinic Pre-College Healthcare Academy. And she is one of only 100 students selected nationwide. So she will be advancing in an environmental leaders of color, AI and technology program. So I just wanted the community to know that our students are doing well despite the words that are out there. We are rising, we are shining, we are thriving. And I just want to give a hearty congratulations to Kylie on this amazing thing that she's doing. And our kids and our children and our students need to always be pushed in the right direction. And with my own background, it's always exciting for me to see another little brown girl of color going into the STEM field because we are definitely underrepresented. I am a 9% in my field. So congratulations, Kylie. I know the superintendent. We'll be also highlighting you as well. So just congratulations to you. Congratulations to your parents, because a lot of times our parents and caregivers do not get the same respect, because for a child to do well, she has to have a village. And I acknowledge that as a parent. And so to Kylie and her family, her parents, her loved ones, her village. And I think that we here at the district are to her village. So her education and her educators at STEAM who have poured into her. She did go to Pennington. So she is a product of our Mount Vernon school system. So congratulations, Kylie, and continued success. I will be trying to get in person with her because I think she's phenomenal. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, our children are phenomenal. I would just like to let the board members know that in front of you, you should have an envelope, and that envelope actually shows you your NISBA points and awards that, from your training that you've done so far. Thank you for the work that you're doing and volunteering, and also the training and the knowledge that you're learning and earning, in order to be a trustee here in the city of Mount Vernon. I just wanted to say thank you for that. Dr. Strickland, you had a final comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to report to the board and to the community that today we were awarded a $450,000 a year grant for school violence prevention. Huge shout out to Ms. McCoy, Ms. White, all those people that were involved. And this will help with some physical measures like metal detectors, but also people, like making sure that we have restorative hubs in our schools where individuals can really sit and talk and try to get our students on the right track. And so this was a competitive grant, meaning it's like, it's a big deal. It's hard to get, and we got it. So I'm just gonna keep putting that stuff out there as well. Thank you.
So we want to hear good, positive stuff. Okay. All right, do we have anything for executive session?
Yes. Can I have a motion, please, to enter into executive session for the purpose of discussion of pending or current litigations?
Okay, we have a first and a second. May call for the vote.
All in favor? Any opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
We are now in executive session, and we will not be returning, and we would like to thank you for being with us tonight. We'd also like to acknowledge our union leadership is in the building. We have Mr. Israel, our president, and we have Mr. Green, our vice president of the Mount Vernon Federation of Teachers. Thank you for joining us tonight as well.